Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to discuss about two companies, Sula Vineyards and Som Distilleries. Okay, when you talk about Sula Vineyards, so of course if you look in the past, the company had been growing at around 20%, right? A good double-digit growth engine. We will see all of a sudden like the growth has been muted this quarter. Let us see what has happened with Sula and will it be able to recover the growth or not. So first thing, when you look at the entire Sula revenue, out of that you'll see that 88% is coming from wines by selling their own wines, and then after that 16% is coming from your wine tourism. Okay, and when you talk about wines also, right, they have and again 5% is coming from selling other people ka wine, that is imported wines, third party wines. Now when you talk about this own wines that are there, they have two categories, right? One is elite and premium wines and the other one is economy and popular wine, right? And they've been constantly telling like unko, they want to come out of this economy and popular segment, and they're trying to like reduce it as much as possible. So you're seeing it here also that elite and premium wine right now contributes around 77% ka revenue, and the economy and popular wine that is there comes down to around 23% ka revenue. Okay, so in the total contribution, if you look at the result, you will see that the sales has hardly grown by, I have the numbers here. Sales has hardly grown by 4% on a year-on-year basis. Agar aap PAT dekhte ho, PAT has grown by 9%, and EPS bhi dekhte ho, it is around 8.4%. So you will see, the growth has been very mediocre, right? You will see that hardly any single digit. I mean, it is even worse compared to your these large cap FMCG companies also. So why has there been such very small growth? Hardly any growth. Almost you can tell. And why has the volume growth also not been so much, right? If you look at the total volume growth on a year-on-year basis has hardly been 4%. Agar aap elite and premium mein dekhte ho, elite and premium ka category ka revenue has grown by 7%, whereas the volumes has hardly grown by 4% wahan pe. So why has this happened? What is the reason for this? So one of the few things is, if you look at their entire revenue, right, unka majority sales aata hai Bombay, that is Maharashtra, and Karnataka se aata hai. These are the two places where they're getting around 60% of their revenue is coming from. Now Maharashtra mein kya hua hai, they have had to over the last few quarters the sales has been muted, the demand has been muted from Maharashtra region. Okay, and right now they've been doing a lot of sales and distribution spends over there, and as a result, because this S&D spend has really increased this quarter, S&D spend has gone up to around 25% in this quarter. This has impacted your top line. And on top of that, the second thing is, agar aap Goa mein dekhte ho, right, Goa Q3, you have holiday seasons, everybody is rushing to Goa for New Year's and Christmas and everything. Goa mein what has happened is, the government of the state government that is there, they've put some licensing ka issue has come up over there, not just for Sula but for a lot of alcohol companies. They have done some new agreements as a result, and also the rate at which they've been giving this license out, there has been a lag, not only to the alcohol companies but also to the beach shacks and other people. So because of this, there has been they have lost a lot of sale in Q3 due to this two reason. In fact, agar aap Goa mein baat karte ho, in October and November they had completely degrown, right? There was no sale at all, right? In December again it caught up, but having said that, these 2 months which are the peak months you have, right, in October and November, holiday season are there, people travel there, and of course they had lost a sale. When it comes to sales and distribution, what I was talking about in Maharashtra, the management believes it has peaked almost right now. They're able to gain market share and everything, and probably going down in Q4 or coming down in other quarters that are in coming year. It will either normalize or it will come down, like the sales and distribution spend will come down, because right now it is they are very much keen on acquiring market share. So these are the two main important reasons you will see why Sula ka volume growth, which used to clock around at least 20% ka volume growth, has been hardly right now at 4%. Now if you talk about what have they been doing in terms of new things, you will see they have released this 250 ml ka can recently. Okay, so one of the reasons for them to do is to attract a wider range of consumers. See, and on an average, if you see the Sula ka wine, if you talk about your premium wines that are there, it starts from 600-700 rupees in that category. So someone who's trying the wine for the very first time might not be willing to shell that money out, because they'll be like, what if I don't like it, and that entire thing goes to waste. So there is that one thought from the consumer side. right? And the other thing is, most of the consumers, when you talk about in India, we do not have a culture of this wine cellar and storing wines in a particular place and everything. There is a lack of storage space. So as a result, this 250 ml can is a really good introduction, especially for people who want to try wine out for the first time also, and and to see how it goes. So this is one new how do I put this, new product they have launched, introducing wine in 250 ml ka can, just like how we get the Pepsi ka can, Coca-Cola ka can, or the soft drinks ka can. That is how they've started. Now coming back in terms of demand and what is the outlook like, the management is fairly confident ki, like, going forward in Q4 we will come back to a double digit growth. This is like a one-time quarter thing we've had, especially with the S&D spends and everything. Going forward we will be okay. And they've also seen ki, like, in December, whatever issues were there has been resolved, especially with Goa. What I told, October and November mein degrowth tha, that has really recouped back in terms of in December the sales growth has really picked up. And in fact, Q4 also seems to look way stronger than that of Q3. That is what the management has told. Now it is to wait and watch ki, like, if the volume growth comes back or not, right? And in terms of like harvest season, when you talk about the 2024 harvest season, even that has been great. They have not faced any problem in terms of flood, in terms of grapes being spoiled, or any change in contract, or any change in contract with their raw material, whoever is giving it to them, right? So all in all, other than these two issues, probably Sula could have grown at a faster pace, right? The final thing with Sula is, as you all know, उनका एक whips का ये scene चल रहा था, right? That wine incentive scheme. Basically, wine incentive scheme is that if you are a wine manufacturer who is producing the grapes from Nashik and manufacturing the wine from Nashik, then whatever sale you make in Maharashtra, you will get a tax refund. You will get approximately around 80% of tax refund for the sales done in Maharashtra, right? And recently, the government of Maharashtra had come and they put a ban on this, telling like, we are taking back the whips. We are not going to do anything any longer. But recently, we've seen like the Maharashtra state government has extended the whips ka scheme to around 8 years. 8 years from now, this whips ka scheme will be there. So they will get a tax refund for whatever sale they make in Maharashtra. As of Q3, I think for this year, I believe it's for this year. As of Q3, they're supposed to get 146 crores in refund, right? Tax ka refund they're supposed to get. That is what the management had told. Hopefully, going forward, at least in the next 8 years, they are going into many states as possible. The distribution is higher, and the volume growth also increases, and the dependency in Maharashtra as a state, and also like, because Maharashtra and Karnataka combined is coming like 60% of the sale. Hopefully the dependency on these two states comes down, and they are in like pan India, like as much as they can increase their presence in every nook and corner of the country, right? So tomorrow 8 saal ke baad, whatever happens, let's say if the whips is renewed or not renewed, or maybe somehow in the center the government comes and cancels it in the middle of the tenure also, they won't face that brunt like whatever happened in the last 2-3 quarters with whips. So that is that about Sula. Okay, so next let us move to Som Distilleries. Okay, in terms of Som Distilleries, if I have to talk about, in result has been great, right? You will see that the revenue is growing at a very strong 70% ka growth engine hai, right? On a year-on-year basis, PAT is also up by 63%. So if you look at the numbers at a glance, right, volume growth is also around north of 60%. There has been no problem in terms of numbers, nothing. Ab jo koi bhi parameters dekho, Som has been doing great in all the parameters, right? So one thing with Som, of course, remains that QIP ka issue, but let me just go through the result once and give you like what has happened, right? पहला चीज़ है कि like I told you, result top line has been growing at 70%. अगर आप देखते हो PAT also has grown by 63% on a year-on-year basis. PAT margin is also stable. The fear that was there कि like अगर ये QIP नहीं होगा तो capex रुक जाएगा या distribution और volume growth इसी rate से नहीं आएगा. Even that is also not there, क्योंकि QIP, the first QIP round that they did, उन्होंने जो किया, that got failed in the first time, right? And after that we've had 2 quarters. This is the second quarter, and in 2 quarters also continuously they've done north of 60% ka sale only, right? In terms of IT raid also, they also told, management has clearly told कि like they didn't find anything, and if when they'll update, we will also update you on the BS exchange. In terms of volume growth का अगर मैं बात करती हूँ, like I told you, 67% का volume growth हुआ है, right? And they have different brands, right? They have Hunter, Blackfort and Powercool. अगर आप Hunter का brand specifically, which is one of their best selling alcohol, which is their beer, हंटर में ग्रोथ हुआ है 68%, ब्लैकफोर्ट में अगर देखते हो 59%, एंड पावरकूल में देखते हो इट इज 57%. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ ऑन अ ईयर ऑन ईयर basis. So you will see all their brands are doing relatively well in terms of volume growth. It is not a joke to be growing volumes at 60% of North, right? So beer is contributing 90% of the sale, and you're seeing यहाँ पे no problem in terms of volume growth, right? Then coming back, अगर आप capex में देखते हो, even in capex also last time right they had mentioned कि like उनका अभी जो हासन का प्लांट है they have a capacity of 90 lakhs liter, and they were doing a capex of 50 to 55 crores, which will increase the capacity to 1.5 crores. And once they increase this capacity from this plant, they will be able to distribute to other neighboring state also, right? Now from the Karnataka government, because जो plant यहाँ पे है which is in Hasan is in Karnataka, there they've got a permission to sell to from whatever plant they produce, they've got to sell this premium का जो brands है like Hunter, Blackfoot, Woodpecker, to sell it in Tamil Nadu. They've got the permission from Karnataka government. So in terms of distribution there also it is okay. They've introduced a new brand called Legend in Karnataka. Even that is working out really well. We also know कि like in terms of capex क्या कर रहे हैं, अभी contract manufacturing कर रहा है in Jammu and Kashmir for canteen stores. So all in all आप देख रहे हो ना capex में भी उनका कोई problem नहीं है, right? They are entering into Jharkhand, they are entering into UP, Delhi में भी enter कर रहा है, right? And right now if you look, UP is contributing around 3% of their total sales. So all in all the response for all of their beers या IMFL जो भी हुआ है, the response also has been good from every new market they are entering, right? And Rajasthan also they entered recently, and Rajasthan they're looking कि like अभी क्या करे राजस्थान में, should they set up their own plant and start manufacturing there and you do the distribution, or should they go for contract manufacturing and distribute over there? So this is the thing they were discussing. So overall like I told you, no problem in terms of volume growth. In terms of value growth अगर आप देखते हो, एवरेज सेलिंग प्राइस जो है एक बियर का रियलाइजेशन जो है इट इज 518 दिस क्वार्टर. लास्ट क्वार्टर इट वाज 546. मैं Q2 का बात करूँ, Q2 में 546 था, ओके. एंड लास्ट ईयर अगर आप देखते हो Q3 में इट वाज 484. नाउ यू विल सी कि लाइक अरे QOQ में क्यों ये प्राइस रियलाइजेशन का फर्क है, व्हाट हैज बीन. नाउ देयर आर टू रीजंस फॉर दिस. आपको मालूम है बियर इज मोस्टली प्रिफर्ड व्हेन इट इज हॉट, व्हेन इट इज बिकॉज people prefer beer like chilled beer na, so they prefer it during hotter seasons. In Q3 what happens, especially these people are entering into north में ज़्यादा expansion कर रहा है. Q3 they have a lot of harsh winters ना, October, November, December, especially December. So as a result Hunter और Blackfoot उनका जो legendary beers है, all of these great beer brands, the sale is relatively low compared to that. So as a result क्या होता है, ये थोड़ा average sale realization 19-20 हो सकता है, but on an average you can expect the average जो beer का realization to be around 530, because it keeps changing according to the product mix. So probably in Q3 due to harsher winter, people might not want to drink that beer such as Hunter and Blackfoot, right? They might prefer a little bit of other strong beers that is there, right? Maybe in terms of summer season they might prefer very chilled and light beer. So as a result, depending on the season there can be change in product mix. Because of that the beer ka realization will change. Now coming back to all the point you saw with Som कि like EPS का growth था, sales का growth था, PAT का growth था. You will see क्या बोलते हैं, a good amount of capex is also happening, distribution is also going on very well, volume growth का भी problem नहीं है, value growth का भी problem नहीं है. There is absolutely no problem in terms of fundamental if you talk about the company, right? Absolutely none. Even in terms of Sula, I know it is not a like to like comparison, because अगर आप सोम का बात करते हैं, Som is a beer company whereas Sula is a wine company, although both are in the alcohol space, two different categories of alcohol. But you see, right, one is doing a 4% का volume growth whereas the other person is doing 67% का volume growth. You can see the very huge stark difference also, and here they don't have any whips ka incentive. In spite of that they're doing it. The only problem remains with Som is the fact that उनका QIP नहीं हुआ, right? पहला वाला QIP जो हुआ, again the management told कि like जो क्या बोलते हैं, their interest and the investors' interest didn't match, and as a result QIP didn't happen. They told that. At least one good thing, even though the pehla wala QIP didn't go through, you see that capex plan is on track. You also see that distribution जो हो रहा है, right? The volume growth जो हो रहा है, the pace of volume growth also hasn't come down. But अभी का QIP जो हुआ, they again raised money. I think 350 340 to 350 crores, something around they wanted to raise in QIP. So second QIP that they have done, the management did not have any comments for that. They were like, yeah, we'll update you when it happens. No comments. And it's been a long time since this QIP ka, they gave out the notice that they're looking for a QIP. So this remains a huge, I would say, like a disturbance in their story. Other than that, agar aap ye bolte ho ki like, how do I put this? The outlook, if you look, the Som ne aake Q2 mein bola tha ki like, we are revising the guidance. Earlier they had guided for 1,000 crores by the end of this year, and when they finished, they told ki like, we are increasing the guidance to 1,100 to 1,200 crores. That is what we are planning to do. So at this rate, if they continue, because as of 9 months they have done around 889 crores of revenue. So if they continue at this pace, it wouldn't be a problem to achieve that 1,100 or 1,200 crore by this year end, right? And they failed to give the guidance. The management has not given any guidance ki like FY25 mein kya hoga ya FY26 mein kya hoga. But unka jo CMD hai JK Arora, he was in an interview with Mr. Anil Sanghvi, right? That news channel, I think you would know that person. So he came there and he told कि like अगले 2 साल में we are planning to reach a revenue of top line of 2,000 crore. This is something they mentioned in that TV ka interview, but they haven't mentioned it in con call. Yeah, so that is the only thing. Let's see how it goes. Now see, ultimately it comes down to one thing, right? How fast can you get your volume, and how fast you can, I mean, volume आता है distribution से. Brand तो अभी बन रहा है. D2C में brand is very essential. So brand plus ये distribution का खेल है. As long as they can get that volume and distribution, and they do not have any pressure from any of the states in terms of pricing, and that will happen. All in all, I don't see why they can be doing this. The only issue, like I'm reiterating the fact, QIP का एक बड़ा इशू है यहाँ पे, राइट? एंड व्हाट टू डू, सी कंपनी इज ग्रोइंग एट 60% 50%, तो पैसा तो चाहिए ग्रो करने के लिए. बैंक में इट इज़ नॉट ईजी टू गेट ए डेट. QIP करो, QIP में इतना रेगुलेटेड दैट XYZ प्रोसेस इज देयर. एक बार QIP नहीं होते फिर भी मार्केट इसको गाली देता है. और जो QIP करता है, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल द लाइक्स ऑफ JTL, वहाँ पे QIP हुआ. लाइक अगेन JTL इज टेलिंग कि लाइक FY23 का रेवेन्यू उनका था 1,000 crore, ओके, एंड दे वांट टू टेक इट अप टू 10,000 crore, आई थिंक इन FY27 something in that range. I don't remember exact year because it was a long time back. I read the con call. और वहाँ पे उन्होंने QIP किया. JTL did a QIP and they raised it from the Zenith, I think that trading company something they वहाँ पे QIP करो फिर भी प्रॉब्लम की, अरे इस बंदे से तुमने QIP क्यों किया. नाउ सी, आई मीन देयर इज नो सोल्यूशन. यहाँ पे QIP नहीं करे फिर भी इसका मार्केट गाली देता है. यहाँ पे JTL ने QIP किया फिर भी मार्केट इसको गाली देता है. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी there is no right or wrong here ultimately at the end of the day, right? Like there is no like a proper like I'm right or you're right kind of decision here. Also please ignore the noise because it's Saturday and there are kids playing in my apartment. I'll just wrap this video up very quickly. So that is the only thing, and I know as an investor for us it could be it is very black and white. We just take a decision looking at a document, but understand ki like when you're running a business also it is not that easy, right? There are so many, especially when it is like this, it's a brick and mortar business, it is not tough. Yeah, so I would say like, yeah, that's that about Som and Som Distilleries and Sula Vineyard, and I will see you again in another video, in the next video, where I'll be discussing about paints and adhesive and the adhesive sector. Okay, that's that. Thank you. Bye bye.